All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how all women ultimately know, man. They ultimately all know that being a harlot is wrong, right? And yet for some reason, in this wicked society, they all still decide to be one, for the most part, man. And in this world, you've got plenty of women that have just decided to be, that have just been decided to be harlots, man, right? But then at the same time, they are embarrassed for the most part to say their body count, or they become extremely shocked when they see another woman that's completely open to baiting out every single thing that she's doing, like these Lily Phillips and these Bonnie Blues, man, right? All these women that talk all this, oh, women can do whatever they want to do, the women can do the same thing as men. They don't feel comfortable when they see women like that. And even those women don't feel comfortable being like that, man. I saw one video where one of them women was damn near crying because they was doing a YouTube video with another guy, and she kind of started to feel, you could see in the video, man, she kind of started to feel like she was in a relationship with that guy, and she started bugging out because she realized that she ruined her life. And that now the kind of thing that she'd want to be able to do in her life, I've been able to have one man, right? One man that takes care of her for the rest of her life. She blew it and can't have that no more. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So while all you women out there in this world are gallivant, like us as men, we cannot compete, right, with these females that from the moment they become teenagers, they just become beautiful, right? And then when you're a teen, like, I don't know about anyone else, but when I just became a teenager, I wasn't getting treated the same way as females that big when they just become teenagers. Now, some of you other people out there, or brothers out there, you might have been a gal, listen, the gal that, what the gal them want, what the gal them need. That weren't me, fam. But if you was, congratulations, man, right? Congratulations. But for the most part, that's, a man can't compete with a woman if it comes in terms of getting attraction from the other gender. It just don't go that way. Like King Solomon had 1,000 wives, right? But he was also King Solomon. You understand? King Solomon had 1,000 wives, but he also was, at that point when he was ruling the earth, the top man on earth. There wasn't no man higher than him. And he was able to get 1,000 wives. And guess what? Though out of those 1,000 women, not one of them were righteous. So right there, that shows you that a man can't really compete with women. Because King Solomon was the top man on earth, pretty much, right? The wisest man on earth. And out of all the women that he was able to have, all of them, not one of them was righteous. Now, let me prove that, because people sometimes think that us Israelites are chatting out our behind, man. No, we're not. We're singing it real out here. This is 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. So his wives weren't no scallywags from the block. You know what I mean? His wives weren't Shavante and them. No, his wives were women that was raised up in a princess way. And they were still off. You understand? And his wives turned away his heart. They were still off. Women that was raised to be princesses, raised in a royal arena. They still were no good. They still were no good, man. Even for a king to be having them. Even the wives that were given to the wisest king that we've ever had as Israelites. He couldn't still find a woman. Yet he had to be a king to be able to have those 1,000 women. A woman don't have to be nothing really in this world to be able to get given attention from the moment a woman's became what in this world, man. Shit, like, I don't know, man. 17, they've received a hell of a lot of attention from the male gender. And that's without them actually even being attractive to a certain degree. They only have to have one body part on them that's somewhat all right. Just one. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleases Yahweh shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. If you want wicked women to, people always say how to repel a woman, well, just be a good man. Like, be a man that pleases Yahweh, and you'll realize that certain types of women don't want nothing to do with you. Simple as that. Like, it's almost, but people ain't gonna take that as real. It's almost in this world, right? If you're actually a man of any worth in the eyes of the Lord, you ain't gonna find hardly any women that like you. Now, some people say, "Oh, but that's just an excuse for you not having no game." Well, I read the scriptures, man. The women of this society, they don't care about the scriptures. They say when they go on these stupid popular balloons and all these things, they want this man of God and all this stuff. They go to the churches seeking this so-called man of God thing and all that. But the men of God were King Solomon, King David, right? Abraham, Jacob. These are the kind of people that is considered men of God. And they would not be able to stand in front of King David with the same attitude that they stand in front of brother Clevi or whatever that bangs the tambourine, man. Verse 27, behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one, to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh. But I find that, and which man in this earth ain't seeking and being like, man, just if I could just find out one woman that's just not a demon. Do you know what I mean? Which man on this earth hasn't thought of that in his mind, like, oh man, like they might see a woman and be chilling with her or whatever and be like, man, I just hope she's not a demon. And then what do you know? She's a demon. You know what I mean? Or the men would happily do the one wives thing. If the one woman's not a demon, men would happily work and grind for a woman. Because what did Jacob do, man? Jacob worked 14 years, man. And was he a simp? No, he weren't. Because in them 14 years, Rachel weren't freaking off. Whereas in this world, oh man, can you imagine? In this world, trying to work 14 years to get a woman as a wife. Mate, she'd have been spleeged off by the time you get with her, man. Her body count would be in the hundreds to thousands in this society. Him building up himself, like working and grinding and building himself to establish himself with the agreement that he's going to have that as a wife. In this society, that's you're playing around if you tried that in this society. Whereas in the ancient world, it would work because she'd be made to not be able to be with nobody else in that time. She'd be betrothed, and if anyone tried to do anything, well, now they've committed adultery because that's his wife, even though he has not slept with her to consummate the marriage yet. The betrothal still makes him have the greater claim to you as being his wife. Whereas unbetrothed women, they didn't have no one that had a claim to her, which is where that controversial law that people don't like in Deuteronomy comes in. But who cares what they like? Yahweh said what he said. Verse 28, which my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So he couldn't find a woman that was righteous in that demographic of 1,000 women, right? And he was a king, so they didn't even try and fake. They couldn't even fake like there was good because he was wise and was examining them, man. And who knows what ways he examined them to find out whether they're righteous or not. Probably tried to ask him questions about. He could have tried to ask him questions about, oh, this woman here committed adultery. What do you think we should do to her? Oh well, the men probably weren't treating her right, so I can understand why. Oh, so you're wicked as hell too. Oh, so you're wicked as hell as well. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. All you men right now that were just following after every single law that Esau allowed you to use against the men of your nation, right? You was dead while you was living in pleasure. You didn't understand the end result of all of this, that the men of your nation was not going to like you anymore. And a woman cannot survive in this world with the men from her nation not liking her. It's not possible. In this fake world, it can seem like it's possible, but make a situation of chaos come, and women will ultimately instantly find out that they need men, right? Like the thing of women saying they don't need men is absolutely ridiculous, because even in all of this society where they're saying they don't need men, they're using men to allow them to say they don't need men. So obviously they need men. If you need men to allow you to have the confidence to say you don't need men, then you need men. But because they're living in pleasure, they've been dead while they're living. Just like that Lily Phillips bug out, man. Which I think she's an Edomite, but who knows, man? Who knows in this world, man? I think she's definitely an Edomite, and the Edomite woman is the biggest harlot really in the world as well, man. Right? She'll have the highest numbers, but the Israelite woman is a harlot too in this world too, man. Let's not pretend like she ain't. She's a hoe as well, man. Eve's a hoe too, but she learned it from Esau. She's like back in the day, that used to be a known thing that the Edomite woman was with when we didn't call her the Edomite woman, that she's the biggest one. But now Eve's damn near surpassed her on average. It's ridiculous. They ain't done nothing as crazy as what that Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips have did, or they ain't told the stories of it anyway. But they're still hoeing as well, man. We just have to be honest about it. But they're dead while they're living though, like that though. They're dead. Because at the moment when the moment comes that they don't look that way no more, and there comes another version, another woman that looks like how they used to look when they was younger, now they bug out. Now when they can't be in a nightclub anymore because they look old, and they start looking and they start seeing women looking at them like how they used to look at other women that was too old in the club. Now all of a sudden they start realizing, oh damn, I need to get out of this, but then they can't get out of it though. Because nobody wants to know. And now because of the internet, they've plastered what they think about this and think about that all over the internet, just assuming that the world would always stay like that. And then it don't. And then it comes a change, and now they start wishing that they had received respect and things like of this nature, but the respect ain't there no more. They can't get it, man. And that's why women ain't supposed to even be given nowhere near as much freedom as they've been given in this world. I don't care what people want to say about, oh, no, that's sexist. Good if it's sexist, man. Because as far as women have in this world right now, they've bugged themselves out. They've destroyed themselves, right? They've destroyed themselves, man. Sirach chapter 26 and verse 22, and harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. It's better for a woman. If all of these women that are running around harloting it off right now, right? If they could find one man that they thought was super handsome and had unlimited resources, right? I don't care what they trying to say on these stupid podcasts. If they found one man that had unlimited resources where he could take care of them every time they need, and if they was only able to see him, even I think 2 weeks out of a year, but that 2 weeks was the best 2 weeks of their life every time they met him, right? They'd happily accept that that man has multiple wives. I don't think they'd care. And if all the rest of the year they was just able to look after their child that they got with him, right? And then when he meets them again, he gets them pregnant again. And then now they got 2 children next time he sees them, and they've got all these stories to tell about the progress of the baby. I think they'd choose that, man. I think they'd choose that than what they're doing right now. All these men that are splamming them out, right? Splamming them off in alleyways, splamming them off in a car, splamming them off in a nightclub rave, splamming them off in a penthouse suite, freak off here, a freak off there, sneak off here, a sneak off there, right? All this madness that they're doing, right? And then what do they get at the end of it? Some stories to tell on a podcast about what celebrity they did something with. Oh, I ate his grass. Oh, I ate this celebrity's grass. He likes to have his grass ate. Congratulations, you poo poo mouth. You baited out what you're under, and now you're accounted as spittle. You told all these stories about what you did for clout, but now everyone's looking at you like, ugh, you're gross. Verse 25: a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. And when you're walking down the street and you see a woman that barely even wants to look you in the eye, but they're a bit pretty or whatever, that looks way better than a woman that looks pretty and she's got her chin elevated to the heavens, clacking her heel, with her face dead up straight, walking past everyone like, don't even dare look at me. Who do you think you are? You think them kind of women are going to receive any mercy when all hell breaks loose from men? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're dead while they're living. Being able to go every single place that there's money without having the money to pay for these things. That's the thing. This world's so bugged out. Like, men can never do that. No, there's nowhere in this world that us as men can go somewhere that we know is expensive and not bring money to be able to pay for the cheapest item there. We can't do that. In this world, women have been able to do that though. But they're dead while they're living. Because that life always comes to an end with age, right? It comes to an end with age because eventually the men are not going to want to spend money like that when no one's in their 30s, late 30s or whatever, or late 40s. That was for you when you was in your late teens and mid to late 20s. But after that, they start looking at you like, hang on. How comes you're still out here trying to do what these young gal are doing? Why you right? Why around with all these young gal? And then you're trying to tell men, oh, don't date. They shouldn't be dating a woman that's blah 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 age because you're a cradle snatcher and all that. Mate, you think the man care about what you saying that? You think he really cares? Men care as little about you saying that to them as you care about men saying to you, you shouldn't date the tallest, most handsome, most charismatic, most attractive man that you can date that's rich beyond your wildest dreams. That's how we feel when you try and tell us that we shouldn't date women that we think are attractive. We don't care. You think when all hell breaks loose, right? And if there's women that are, let's say there's a man out there that is in his 50s, and when all hell breaks loose, right? There's women that are 18 years old, and they're trying to want to fulfill Isaiah 4:1 with him. Oh, I'll eat my own bread, I'll wear my own apparel, only let her be called by thy name to take her and my approach. And he's looking at the woman and he's like, man, she's very beautiful and she's humble too. But man, her age though, she's 18. That's too young. I heard what Eve said. I ain't trying to be a cradle snatcher. Or is he gonna think, man, no, come on with it? Do you know what I mean? What's he gonna say? She's 18 though. That's a cradle snatcher. If I have an 18-year-old wife, because I'm in my 50s, I'm a cradle snatcher. No, he's not. And what if he's in his 40s? What is he gonna say? Oh, I'm a cradle snatcher. Nah. And what if he's in his 30s? He ain't gonna say it then either. And what if he's in his 20s? Now he ain't gonna say that. But then if he looks over and sees some old in her 50s crow running in her mouth, looking at you like, he dating them young girl. He dating them young girls. He dating them young girl. He a creep. He a eat it. He a readophile. He a readophile. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? You really think that we're gonna go for that in that time? No. Obviously, he's gonna go for the women that he wants to pick in that time. The women that should have a lower body count than your old crows, man. That was Micah 7 and 10. Now, a lot of these young ones are gonna get destroyed too, though, because they're proud as hell. And a lot of beautiful women are going to get destroyed because they've been extremely proud in this world. They've been able to have the best lives for the most part. But then a lot of, like I said before, a lot of women that aren't even attractive have been doing a madness out here, man. A mad one. They've been going on a mad one, bruv. Let's get some more scriptures. Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 16. I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. And that's why so many people in this world didn't get brought up in a house with their father. That's why. Because the mum was a demon, right? She was so annoying that the mum was like, you know what? I can't live with this woman, man. I'm out. And then she was able to have the chance to try and tell people that the dad ain't this and the dad ain't that. So to try and stop her from looking like she was the bad one. And then the children just believed it because mommy was able to give them Kellogg's cornflakes and Cocoa Pops in the morning. So mommy loves me because she gives me Cocoa Pops in the morning and Rice Krispies. And she makes me chicken noodle soup when I'm feeling a bit poorly. And she put me in school clothes. But she was also ran your dad out of the house and made him not want to be around even to see y'all because he knew that she was trying to use a weapon against them. This is the reality of many Jakes out there that grow up to become your much beloved Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie on the block, Ray Ray on the trap. Right? This is what happens, man. And then the women date them and then complain. And then that produces a further Pookie and Ray Ray epidemic around here. Verse 19, all wickedness but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of her sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up of her sandy ways to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man, running their chocolate mouth all around town. That's just how it is. And everyone on this earth, man, if you believe in the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you understand what it really means for a woman to be a good woman, everyone's grieved regarding a woman thing. You just have to contain the grievance. Because we know what our woman's supposed to be like, any woman. We know when we're walking on the street, women are supposed to be like. You ain't supposed to go down the street and see women cackling off chanting off their mouth, begging attention, seeking attention from men, going down the streets to nightclubs, just like dressed like a complete scallywag, getting up in men's faces, trying to start a fight because you're standing there minding your business and thinking, oh, this random man that I don't know, oh, if I get into a fight with this guy, he's got to step in and get involved because he's a man. No, he don't. No, he don't need to get involved. He's minding his business, right? Like you should have been doing. Verse 21, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire not for pleasure. Don't be desiring to just go around overly clapping it off around here, which is desiring them for pleasure. Because even some of these guys that you see and they're like, man, they got these YouTube channels and you see them just stand on the street and then women just come up to them, and if that's their YouTube channel, it's just them being tall and handsome and women just thinking that they're this and that. Like, them men are only really getting women that are, okay, the women will be beautiful, they'll be attractive or whatever, but they're only still getting low quality women, man, because even King Solomon was only getting that kind of woman, really, and they were princesses, man. They were princesses and they were still, according to the standards that King Solomon set, they still were not worthy to be considered as a good woman. And he was a king, man. He would have been considered a trillionaire easily when you consider the things that he was able to do. He would have been a trillionaire and still couldn't find a woman that was righteous, man. So how much more in this world? How much more? But then when you talk like this, people think, oh, you're just disgruntled. Well, why wouldn't we be disgruntled in this world when we're supposed to be ruling it, man? Why wouldn't we be angry in this world when we're supposed to be getting the most respect in this world, but we get the least? Why wouldn't we be disgruntled in this world where we're supposed to be ruling over everyone, but they're ruling all over us, man? Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So how could you be happy in this world knowing this information, man? How could you be? A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So giving women more and more power is not a good thing, man. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. And even though women have got more power in this society right now, are they more happy? Or are they less? Are they trying to always scapegoat men for everything, even though they made their own decisions? That's what we see. But that's them being dead while they live, man. It's all fun and games when everything's going your way, but there comes a point where you become old, and then you realize, I understand now what everyone was saying before. It took me a while, but I understand now. Oh, this is what they was talking about. Okay, I see. Oh, so this is what they meant, yeah? This is what they meant, that you're gonna just be through when you become old. Oh, this isn't nice. I don't like this. Well, it's too late now. Just like how when it really goes down and this society falls, Eve's gonna try and come fake humble towards men that she there's gonna be situations where Eves that literally scoffed against certain men are gonna be in front of them, trying to come and try and walk up in the building that they're in, trying to eat the food that they might have the reservation, they're like rations and that. And that man's gonna notice them out the crowd and be like, yo, what the are you doing here? But oh yeah, can I please have some? And she might try and misquote a Bible verse. Do you know what I mean? And then she's gonna just get dashed out of that spot, man. It's not gonna be nice. Eve's gonna realize she should have watched their mouth in regard to the Israelite man, because everyone was disrespectful to the Israelite man because they didn't believe that he was gonna rule the next kingdom. They thought he was just always gonna be at the bottom, and everyone else is just going to always be at the top of him. And the only way he can get out of that being at the bottom thing is by singing and dancing. But we don't really respect that anyway, that much, by them being a musicians or a sports athlete. We don't really respect that much. We kind of get an enjoyment out of them, but it's not something really respected like how we respect doctors or businessmen or nothing like that, or lawyers. We don't really, or like business owners that make cars and stuff like that. We don't really respect them as much as those guys. But yeah, they're all right. They can dunk nice. That's how they try to treat Jake in this world, but they didn't realize we're the next rulers, man. There's that saying out there, we got next, and we have got next. We have got next, man. We're going to be next up, man. The next kingdom is the only kingdom that's going to ever exist after that. The next one is the last one, man. And I'm going to end this video here and say all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.